Hey guys, it's Chase here, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be making a video, and basically in this video we are going to be talking about what I think is the Season 6 meta for the season, and just give you guys a heads up of what it's going to be like. Now before we go into anything on the Season 6 meta, we need to go back to the Season 5 two metas. It was really split into two main metas. So we're going to go back and look at those two main metas that led into Season 6, just to give you guys a bit of background. So the first meta I want to talk about is probably the first half of the season, was the spray and pray meta, or the SMG meta. And the reason that this meta was a very popular meta is because Epic really lowered the amount of health that the playable structures had. They kept adding new SMGs in. Like, there were multiple SMGs added in last season. Probably the most that SMGs have ever been added in one season. And those two things, and a few more things combined, put a spray and pray meta in the game that really annoyed players. I know a couple times my friend, he deleted the game over the spray and pray meta or the SMG meta. And in the second half of the season, this was the second meta of the season, which was probably, I'd say, the movement meta, and because the Epic was adding in new things like rift to goes, and there were rifts in the game now, and there were more fast moving things like the ATK, which was much faster than the shopping cart. And that really made it a lot easier for people to move around the map. So it really made a movement meta, and basically the meta of that season for the second half was movement. Everyone would be moving around pretty fast. 1 minute you could be in Pleasant, next in Tilted, the next over in Lazy Links, and you'd be gathering up heaps of kills. It really resulted in much higher kill games, because usually it would take you about a minute to go from Pleasant to Tilted, then Tilted to Lazy would take you maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and if it weren't for the ATKs and the rifts, and the rift to goes, then you wouldn't have gotten as many kills. So it could be 30 seconds to get to Tilted to Lazy, and instead of running there taking about 3 to 4 minutes, in those extra minutes, maybe 5 people could have died, and if you got there, then you could have gotten 5 more kills. And it really resulted in people getting much higher kill games than they would in Season 4. Now I'm going to move on to the general skill level of the Fortnite lobbies at the moment. The main reason I want to talk about this is because if you don't already know about this, it's something that I personally think you should know about just before you hop into games. So if you didn't know, at the start of the season, the lobbies are a lot sweatier and try hard, and people just go for way high kill games because they want to level up their skins. They want to get as high of a calamity as they want and get high tiers, and they want to grind their battle pass and grind their XP. So the lobbies are way more sweatier than they will be at mid to end season. That's why at the end of Season 5, a lot of players start to get bored towards the late, mid to end season. So most of the good players get off, and the bad players stay on to try and improve at the game. So the lobbies get a lot less good, and people stop grinding as much because if they really grinded at the start of the season, they've already got T100 and got all their skins up really high. And now because you can level up your Season 6 skins in Season 7 or your Season 5 skins in Season 6, people aren't sweating as much towards the end of the season. Now we're actually going to go into the metas that I think are going to be pretty popular this season. And I've got 3 metas that I think are probably going to be the biggest metas. The first one I think is going to be pretty big is the pump to burst AR. I've got a few clips that I might show you. I'm not sure if I can find them when I'm editing. But I've got a few clips of me getting some insane kills just pumping to burst, and it's just really overpowered and unfair. And because they shoot 3 shots, and all shots do about 30-40 damage. And if you're right in front of them, you can hit 2 of those shots with about 60 damage in less than a second. Plus the added damage of the pump, if you hit someone to the head for 150 to 180 with a pump, and that you only have to shoot them once or twice with your burst, and then they're dead. Like the SMGs, they're starting to nerf them a lot more, and they're starting to go down, down, and down. So they're not as good anymore. But the burst, Epic keeps buffing and buffing the burst because no one uses it, and they really don't want to vault the burst. So they're trying to buff it, buff it, buff it, but if you have like a suppressed scar, and then you have a pump and a burst. If you use your suppressed scar for normal ARing, then you can use your pump or any shotgun you have, and then you can switch to your burst. It's really overpowered, and I assure you, if you use it, when you get used to it, you will start going off in your games, will start getting, your skill level will dramatically increase in the game. Now, another meta is the third party meta. A lot of people saw this meta towards the end of Season 5. If you don't know what third party means, it means basically if one squad and another squad is in a fight, and they're getting towards the end or something, and they're in a massive build battle, approaching scan limit, with the removal of bounces, you can't quickly eject yourself out of those build battles. So, what does third party mean specifically? It basically means that there's a third squad, third duo, third person, whatever game mode you're in, pushing that fight, and shoots it down and just invades on the fight, and it could sandwich your squad, it could put the squad you're fighting in sandwich, it could really stress them out, and it could stress you out because now you have more people shooting at you, and if you're, as I was saying, with the removal of bounces, if you're in a massive build battle, that squad can easily come around and just click like that, and just shoot it down, and without the bounces anymore, you're done. Unless you have like a launch pad, you're done. There's very low chance that you will survive, unless, you know, you can do that cool neat trick where you fall down and then you place the floor and launch pad. But I haven't seen anyone on console Fortnite do that. Maybe on PC, but console Fortnite, people, maybe 0.01% players that can do that. So the third party meta, especially on console, I think is going to become a very popular and dominant meta of this season. The third meta I want to talk about this season is the introduction of the Shadow Zones and the Shadow Stones. Now, if you don't know what a Shadow Stone is, it basically, when you use it, it turns you invisible. Not fully invisible, because that would be overpowered. When you're in this shadow form, invisible, when you're moving, you are visible. You're like a little shadow / purple cloud of smoke. I'll show you, I'm probably going to put up a little bit of gameplay up on the screen. And basically, you can still get hurt like this. And if you didn't know, the Shadow Stones have been removed from the game, as there was a glitch where if you threw a grenade down and then consumed it, and when you turned into the shadow form, you get knocked and then your teammate could revive you and you go fully invisible. There would be no shadowness or cloud, you'd be fully invisible. You could use your guns, weapons, materials, but you couldn't mine stuff. But if you kill people, you could take their materials. And it was really overpowered, so since the first day of the season, they've been completely removed. I might put up some even more gameplay of people doing this glitch. And I've also heard a lot of complaints that these things will be very overpowered, which I personally don't think they will. They are pretty balanced apart from that one glitch. They are very balanced things. Like, you can't build, you can't shoot. But another thing that is pretty overpowered with them is that you can phase through stuff. So you can phase through walls, objects. Like, I saw a clip of someone going up into someone's build and going out of the shadow form and killing them. Now, I could see how that could annoy someone, but that is how it works. You'd have to, I'm pretty sure when you're in this form, an enemy can hear it. And if you're in the form, you can actually see other people in shadow form. They are very visible to you, but when you're in normal form, they are harder to see. So if you're in shadow form, you're walking around, you see someone else in shadow form, you just go out of shadow form and you kill them. It's a very easy counter, but that's probably the only viable counter apart from shooting them if you can see them. Another thing with them is when you're standing still with them, you go pretty much invisible. You can still barely see you and hurt you, but you're pretty much invisible when you're standing still. But a thing that Epic did was basically these Shadow Stones, when you're in shadow form, it lasts for 45 seconds exactly. I think in the last 5 seconds you do a little in and out of it, so you're easier to see. I don't know if it's just for you can see it and your teammates, or other people can see it. It's sort of like with the hop rocks, how when they're coming down, it would go boop, boop. It's sort of like that. Now, what if you use it to its full extent, to the full 45 seconds? You immediately go out of it, then you can do stuff. But if you hold Y or whatever button it is, whatever platform you're on, it actually makes you stand still and immobile for about a second to half. So some range between 0 seconds and a second, you can't move. You just like do a little like raw thing and you jump out at them. But if you wait till 45 seconds, that doesn't happen. You can immediately stop building. So I personally think that's a pretty good nerf with them to make it so they're not so too overpowered. But that's personally my thoughts on the Season 6 beta. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and comment if you want more content like this. This channel was made for tutorial videos, stuff like this. I'm also going to be bringing out a video of the best settings to use on console Fortnite, and the best bindings to use for console Fortnite, and specifically the best editing button. So yeah, that's all for today's video. Make sure to go check out my other channel where I post up like full game content, like funny moments, or I don't know, hide and seek, just fun stuff, normal content like you see on like Vicstar or something. I don't know if it's just an example. But without any further ado, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye guys.